This video is sponsored by Noragon, the commercial vehicle data experts. Visit noragon.com to learn more.
Allison, did you feel that?
Feel what?
Regulations are ramping up. More electric vehicles are being built. Other alternative fuels are being seriously explored. The winds of change are blowing in the trucking industry. Do you feel those winds?
We're indoors.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Fleet Equipment's Data Center, the series that aims to make truck data approachable. I'm Alex.
And I'm Allison.
Things are changing in the trucking industry. Surely you've heard all about it. Sustainability is the word right now, fueled by government regulations, company sustainability goals, and a general desire to improve the state of the environment.
Some fleets are more affected than others by these changes, but as the years go by, no one will be immune. But just because these things are changing doesn't mean the changes are going to make a dent in your profits or your ability to run a smooth fleet operation. In fact, if you plan ahead, the opposite could be true.
From the shop side of things, that means step one is training. If your fleet is ordering electric trucks, your technicians will have to be properly trained on how to do work on them. If someday down the line your fleet acquires some hydrogen-powered trucks, your techs will need to know how to work on those too.
Doing this training ahead of time can save your shop from a lot of lost time in the future when that first electric truck or other alternative fuel truck rolls into the shop. After all, which is better, having the technician rifling through manuals and doing frantic Google searches for how to work on it, or seeing it come in with that knowledge already well in hand?
There are a few things that industry experts recommend as early steps to prepare your shop for EV maintenance. One is to have at least one designated bay for electric vehicle repair. This bay doesn't need to be exclusively used for EV work. Just make it so that when an electric truck comes in for repair, that bay is always where it goes. This can help avoid electrical exposure for those who might be untrained or unprepared, and can help make sure the necessary tools and equipment are in the right place.
Speaking of electrical exposure, another important early step is to make sure that your technicians are properly trained and qualified to deal with high voltage equipment. Not every technician needs to be trained on high voltage usage, but it wouldn't hurt to make sure that all of them have at least a basic understanding of EV safety and precautions. This includes high voltage safety training, as well as a general high level of electrical knowledge for those technicians planning to work on EVs. You will also need to get personal protective equipment, or PPE, for those workers that will be working in high voltage situations.
Because of the additional electrical and high voltage factors, it's even more important than usual to go by the book when repairing EVs, especially early on. This isn't the time for experimentation in the bay. Of course, when in doubt, OEM guidance can always be found and followed.
This change in the types of truck in your fleet will also affect the data you collect for predictive and preventative maintenance. Maintenance intervals will also be different on these alternative fuel trucks with different areas of concern. Data collection early on will be crucial to understanding these intervals as more of these trucks are added to the fleet.
We asked Noragon how the data fleets need to track will change in the zero emissions future, and what they can do to start preparing now. Here's what they said.
Vehicle technology has changed rapidly in the last 5 years, and as the heart of the powertrain, engines are certainly no exception. First, there has been a drastic increase in the total number of faults an engine can produce. Whereas lookup codes have typically been 4 digits, we're now seeing those in the 5 to 6 digit range. In particular, we're observing an increase in faults that must be resolved before they can be cleared. It is more important than ever that technicians follow all troubleshooting steps, as some manufacturers' troubleshooting requirements have changed, and a failure to follow these steps could result in a permanent derate or other costly result. Similarly, the criteria for clearing a code is changing. Manufacturers are adding required steps, such as first running the engine for a period of time before allowing a fault code to be cleared. We're also seeing a decrease in the standardization of faults across a variety of manufacturers, such as the language within fault descriptions changing. For example, one manufacturer may refer to the 7th injector on their engine as an AHI, while another calls theirs the HC dozer. There has been a lot of change over the last 5 years on the engine alone. This highlights the need to keep technicians trained and educated, and to equip them with advanced tools like JPro that simplify the process of diagnosing fault codes.
Thanks for tuning in to another Data Center episode. We'll be back again soon with more truck data insights and information.